But even the idea of apps isn't even a thing. That you almost, in a sense, you almost change your whole operating system. Your operating system becomes the MCP client. And so what you're doing is you're just sitting in that client, kind of calling tools from your AI. And the really interesting thing about this is, people express that their biggest concern almost always about AI is the dependability of what the LLM can produce. And it's definitely gotten better. The models are getting better and better, but there's always a random element to it. Even if you crank the temperature all the way down to zero, what people who are experts in this have explained to me is that you're still going to have some element of randomness, because what cranking the temperature to zero says is you're always bound to the next most probable token. But what happens in a lot of cases, you get a tie. And to break that tie, there's still some element of randomness. And so you're probably never going to get an LLM to completely eliminate, to make it completely deterministic, where two people running the same query in the same way are going to get exactly the same answer. That's, I think, unlikely. And so what you want to do is, instead of kind of putting the burden on your AI, the analogy I like to use is you want to take Einstein and turn him into the world's smartest receptionist. That basically, instead of having your AI doing the analysis, what you want it to do is to say, okay, all it needs to do is it needs to call the right tool to do the part of that analysis that's next.